This is ridiculous, as insane trade reports have been revolving around the Vancouver Canucks star player Elias Pettersson, linking him to an Eastern Conference team that reportedly has multiple players on the trade block. This shows a clear path on what the Vancouver Canucks could get from Elias Pettersson if he heads east. We're going to break down all this and more later on this episode. Before we get into that, if you're part of the 66.1% watching this and you haven't hit that sub button yet, it's completely free. It helps us out a ton. If this is the second, third, or fourth video you watch, you've been here enough. Go down and hit that sub button. We'll give you updates from all around the Vancouver Canucks with trade reports, prospects, rumors, anything you need to know going into this offseason. But with that, let's just hop straight into the first topic, where we did get a report from David Pagnotta of the fourth period. He said the 26-year-old center will see his no movement clause kick in July 1st, and the belief around the NHL is the Canucks will continue to entertain trade calls. Now, before we get into the team that he is linked to and a possible package that we see the Canucks could get in return, we know Elias Pettersson is going into his second year of his major contract. We do know with his extension, he does get a no movement clause that kicks in on July 1st. So if the Vancouver Canucks do fail or do not want to move on from Pettersson before July 1st, this will kick in and he gets every say on which team he would be traded to if he wants to be traded. And he's almost anchored here if you want to move him in the future and he feels comfortable staying. Now, we know the biggest thing is Pettersson had a very disappointing season. Most of the Canucks, not named Quinn Hughes, did as well. Pettersson, one of the highest paid, I believe the 9th highest paid player in the NHL, was 6th on scoring with the Vancouver Canucks. 15 goals, 45 points, and I do want to make it very clear. I would not want to move on from Elias Pettersson. We've seen how good he can be. I know this is a very hot topic where a lot of people are either anti or very for Pettersson. I still think he has a lot in the tank with an offseason fully training. I do believe he can get back, but with the disappointing year, with the Canucks management wanting to get back into the playoffs, there may be a clearer picture of him heading on. And the second report from David Pagnotta of the fourth period, this will be linked down below. It does not sound like the price tag has changed much, if at all. So team will have to pay or up to pry him out of BC. Do the Sabres take another swing? They surely won't be the lone team to try. So it seems like a lot of teams are interested and wanting to make calls on Elias Pettersson. As I said, a 100-point player that we've seen go out and have Selke seasons, not winning a Selke, but having great defensive seasons, a great playmaker. We've seen him score 30 goals. There is something still there with Pettersson. Maybe a change of scenery is what a lot of teams think will take to change how he's playing. But the big thing is the second report we get from Frank Seravalli, and I know a lot of people don't like him, but still a very reputable insider. At least a quarter of the Sabres roster unhappy with the direction of a team. Owen Power, Alex Tuch, other core players could enter the trade market. Now, looking at the report of the Sabres being a team interested on Pettersson, this does open up the possibility of them moving on from key players that are reportedly not happy. I mean, if you see the list of players, and I'm going to touch on a few of these, if the Sabres have a core group, if they have 10 players that don't want to be there, if Pettersson looks like a trade candidate, they can move on from the unhappy players. They get Elias Pettersson when this contract kicks in on the no movement clause. They do keep him. But looking at these players, there's a lot of players that do make sense from the Sabres and a couple that don't. The first one on the list that we did see, Owen Power. With the Canucks, you do have a lot on the back end. Now, before we look at the forwards, where we know they can really improve, on the back end, they do have a strong defensive core. I mean, Hughes, Myers, Pettersson, Hronek, Pettersson, Mancini, followed with Tom Willander. Derek Forbort looks like he's going to return to this team. The big thing with this Canucks, we know they have a good defensive core, and that's where Owen Power, though a very intriguing name, putting up 40 points on not a great Buffalo Sabres team, would be an interesting piece coming in. Yes, he is on a big contract. He's in year 1 of 8, I believe, on his $8 million extension. We did see 40 points, still only 22 years old, but the biggest issue with Owen Power is he's a left-handed shot. And when going back to look at the Canucks, left-handed shots is not really what they need. I mean, Hughes, Pettersson, and you have Forbort if he returns. This is already crowded left side, and bringing in Power, who's not even physical at 6'6". I believe it was 26 hits in 79 games, is probably not the piece to go after. But when going into the second piece, which is Alex Tuch, this is where things get very, very intriguing. Alex Tuch last season with the Buffalo Sabres, 36 goals, 67 points. He was a plus 16 on a Sabres team that did make a tiny bit of a push for the playoffs, but Alex Tuch would be a huge add. 2 seasons, 2 and 3 years that he scored 36 goals, 22 in a down year last season. We can see Tuch is a goal scorer, 60 plus points in pretty much every season over the past 3 years, over a point per game 3 years ago. The big thing with Tuch is the 1 year left on his contract at $4.75 million. If you're going out to trade for Alex Tuch within this lineup, you need to look at an extension. You do not want to move on from a star center and Elias Pettersson. I know a lot of people are going to give me hate on saying star, but he is a star player in this league. Moving on from him on his contract, you get a 1 year piece back. If Tuch decides to leave, then you're kind of screwed. You don't have that position. Looking at Tuch, he would fill in perfectly. Now, with this lineup, I just kind of threw this together on Puckpedia. You can do the same as well. But the biggest thing is the center depth. If you're moving Pettersson out and not getting back a center, you have to rock a winger. Then you're stuck with Filip Hronek, who's not signed yet, but I did put him in this on a 1 year, $1 million deal. Teddy Bluger, and you still need to spend money. Yes, this does open up a room where you can go out and spend more money on a center. You can bring in a new center. You can sign a guy to come in. But with this, it does handicap you down the middle with the current center core. I mean, if you can get Alex Tuch on this team without moving Pettersson, I think that's a home run guy. As I said, 30-plus goal is elite for someone that's only 29. Yes, you're going to extend him into his late 30s, but Tuch is a very interesting piece. But it does get into, as I said, the final year, 4.75. There is one more guy that wasn't listed in this original post, but with a lot of the core players unhappy, Tage Thompson is a name the Canucks need to look at. Now, like I said, I wouldn't want to move on from Pettersson, but if you can bring in Tage Thompson, 44 goals last year, 72 points, just 2 seasons prior to that, 94 points with 47 goals. You can see Tage Thompson as a center that can come in and have an immediate impact, take over the lack of scoring from Brock Boeser. If you can get this without moving Pettersson, yes, do it. I think this would be a home run once again. Him and Tuch are 2 names that are very interesting on this Buffalo team. They do have young guys, but if this Canucks team want to compete, Tage could be a big name to bring in. He is signed 3 of 7 years, so starting next year, his 3rd year of a 7-year deal. $7.1 million is very intriguing as well. With the cap jumping up, yes, we're handicapped by the OEL buyout, which is 4.75, but with this gone over 2 years, it drops down to $2 million. We could see this deal aging very, very nice as the years go on. Not great on the faceoff circle. I believe sub 45% every single season, but a second line center with Tage Thompson would be beautiful. Looking at these guys, looking at the reports coming out about Elias Pettersson, as soon as I can find it, what's your thoughts on possibly trading him out east to the Sabres? Would you be excited or want anyone in particular on this list? Is it Tage Thompson? Is someone I didn't touch on? Go down and leave a comment down below. I am battling the flu, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. While you're down there, leave a like, comment, share this with your friends. Go down and leave a comment and say PD, EP40, whatever you want to leave down there. I love reading through them. But I've been your host, Mark Pye, and hopefully you enjoyed this.